I wanted to give some more clarity around what we're looking at in terms of a funding stack to try to get this project done. So again, you've heard me mention, but I know we've talked about it over many different meetings, but just so you guys understand the numbers that I'm going off of. Understand, these are preliminary. This has not been RFP'd. This is with the information that Baptist has, that, and yes, our engineers have seen it, but really no one at this point is going to sign their name to these exact numbers. I think this is just the best numbers we have in terms of what we estimate the costs will be. So the demolition and abatement of the main hospital and towers, we are assuming at this point is a $14 million lift. The ancillary buildings that would be part of the donation that would be coming to the city if we were to take the property is about $2.4 million. So it shows you at about that $16.5 million we're looking at, the significant portion of it is focused on the main hospital and towers. Now, if we were to get into a scenario where we were to acquire the property and we analyzed that portions of the building could be saved or reused, obviously that would positively impact or lower that potential cost. But as I said, I'm not bringing these to you as definitive. I'm bringing these to you about what we're working off of. So when we're trying to get this fully funded, these are the numbers that we're looking at. And this is how I'm planning to get this funded in a single year. And that has been my intent with our state delegation, with our county, is to try. There's a lot of work ahead. If we snapped our fingers today and had $16.5 million, there's many years of work ahead for demolition, abatement, site preparation, environmental issues, and then to get this to turn into much needed housing. So that's why I really haven't been interested in a 2 or 3 or 4 year funding strategy. I've been interested in a 1 year funding strategy. And I'm very thankful for Senator Broxson and others that have been supportive of that. So what you see in front of you is the city of Pensacola has a $1 million CRA ask that will be coming to CRA. The way I look at that is whether it be through CRA, TIF. We also already have $500,000 earmarked, if you remember from the previous conversation with Baptist Hospital, about $500,000 towards Cooprian Park if they were to be 500 units. Obviously, we would be moving those dollars now that the strategy has changed drastically since that conversation, that we would move those $500,000 into this $1 million. So that's $1 million that we would pledge towards this project. That's not something we would be writing a check for at this exact moment. It would just be a matter of earmarking those dollars for this funding. You see a TBD at City of Pensacola for HUD CDBG. You guys have reported that we were the first money that's actually confirmed and committed at this point is the $5 million that the city applied for and was awarded for HUD CDBG commercial revitalization. You may recall I've mentioned to you guys that there's an asterisk with that $5 million in that the dollars have to be used on what will become 100% commercial property. So I've been very hesitant to commit any of that $5 million towards the stack of the main hospital and towers because that's in the heart of this development, and I think that would really throw a wrinkle into any potential master development if you were to take the heart of it and then require that property only be 100% commercial. And when I say 100% commercial, we have vetted this out with Florida Commerce and others. That does not include first floor retail and then houses above it. I've gotten that question a lot. We're talking about a grocery store, a 100% commercial. So we do have that $5 million, but that's not $5 million that you could just address the main hospital and towers with. So the way I've looked at it is, you see the $2.4 million of ancillary buildings and abatement. There is a strategy that, in my mind, where we could go on the south side of Marino Street with some of those ancillary buildings and use at least half of that money or so to abate and demolish those if needed, where that can become not in the heart of the development, but on the edges of the development where commercial would normally go, that we could potentially expend those funds. So you see, that's why I'm not really including it in the stack that's in front of you right now, not because we aren't going to use it, but just because there's a couple of wrinkles. Escambia County, I have approached and had some good productive conversations with Commissioner May and others about this, that I know that they'll be bringing forward a similar pledge that we're talking about for $2 million, and certainly we'll hope that they'll support that. And that, our $3 million is really what I mentioned to you guys already, that's going to be tied to a community benefits agreement. It means that for those $3 million to take hold with a master developer, whenever that comes, they'll have to meet some certain standards, including that the housing be first offered to the people in the surrounding neighborhood that qualify several different bullets that community benefits agreements have. That we don't have a final one, but that's something that the city and county will work through once we have the commitment from the CRA. Once we have the commitment from the county, we will hash that out collectively to make sure that we're doing what we can to protect the neighborhood, preserve the neighborhood, and have good harmony between a transformational project and the existing neighborhood. I'm asking Baptist Hospital to pledge $3 million, and that's not including the PACEs. They are aware of that, you know, if there are other funding sources that come about, we continue to stay active and looking for federal, state grants. Again, we've been lucky to be awarded one already. Then we can have another conversation about city, county, and Baptist Hospital. But to make this work, in my opinion, the city and county putting up $3 million, I believe Baptist has an obligation to put up some financial, that has some financial responsibility with an potential $18 million demo as well. So they are aware of that. PACEs, you see, $2.9 million. That is that comes with the asterisk that is the value of or the price that they had agreed to with Baptist to purchase the acreage way back when. But it's contingent upon them winning the tax credit projects. They have not done that the last 2 years. They're very competitive. We feel really optimistic about some of the Hurricane Sally CDBG money coming down that we believe will actually prefer unfunded tax credit projects. That gives them a very good shot. So we're going to play that out and see if that happens. I've had a great conversation with PACES about the community benefits agreement and other things to make sure that they're going to adhere to that. But if that were to close at closing, that $2.9 million would come to the city at closing, and that would be part of the stack. And then the state of Florida, you know, there's been reports out there about, you know, who's saying what numbers. We've really got on the guidance of Senator Broxton in saying, you know, we've never been committed to or have been presumptive of any number. You know, we'll. You know, and again, we continue to have conversations with the senator every day on many issues, and I'm just so thankful and grateful to have him where he is in his position. And you know, we'll take it as it comes. So that's why that obviously is a range, because we don't know what the number is, and I don't think anybody does at this point. And so that gets you to 13.9 to 16.9 million. And then what I had mentioned earlier about the CDBG, that gives you a little more background on that. So just wanted to kind of give everyone the roadmap with some clarity. There's been some misstating of how this funding stack was going to look, and I just wanted to make sure this is how we see it today. This is an ever-evolving project. Trust me, if there's a grant out there for $3 million that we find out about tomorrow, obviously this is something that can change. But I will say the city, I am committed to having the city put in $1 million, and if approved, you know, obviously it's pending approval, but I'm committed to that. I feel good about where the county is, and I feel it's fair to say that if the city and county put in $3 million, that Baptist should put in $3 million to make this work. So other wrinkles that could happen is obviously when we get a little further down the road and cost estimates come in less, great. If we can repurpose, great. But we need to be prepared financially to make sure that we can take on the entire elephant, and it's a big one. And so that's what we're going to prepare for, and I feel really good about where we are right now. So well, happy to take your questions here shortly on that. Last few things. We